So Catherine, were you asking because you're all done with your proposal, or?
No, I'm not. But I have like a question about probably a lot of questions, but about the poster, because I've seen other people post theirs and they look awesome. But like some of their introductions, it seems like it's all like a lot of words.
Oh, she froze for me. Did she freeze for you guys?
Yeah,
there's
Catherine's frozen for me too.
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, she's back.
Say what you just said at the very end, Catherine, because you froze.
Okay. Oh yeah. It seems like they had more words than it would take for me to like spend 2 to 3 minutes on. What were your thoughts? Do you think he wants smaller portions, or have you seen theirs and you think theirs looks good?
So, did our fellow students post their posters already?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the discussion board.
Oh,
Okay.
I haven't seen them yet.
I haven't looked either. But Brother Boring did say something to the effect of less is more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like that.
Yeah, he said, let me see. I'm reading, he posted a bunch of notes this past week on the main whatevers. Well, he said just if you're not artist and don't worry about big pictures and whatever, just be straightforward and okay. And he said we can do bullet points instead of full sentences. But you can use graphs and stock photos.
He posted a poster example on the questions and discussion board.
Okay.
Somebody asked.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that's helpful to see. So are we supposed to do like an actual poster or just do like on Microsoft Word or something?
There's a
template.
Oh, is there? Where do I find that? I'm so out of it. I'm like endless work.
I think it's in posters instructions, the poster instructions.
Okay.
All the way at the bottom of all the words that's on there, it just has the link for the template.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
So should we discuss the chapter reading really quick, and then maybe we can each take a turn and see where all of us can help each other with our final proposals.
That sounds great.
Okay.
I like that. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. I kept trying to jump through hoops to try and get it. When I finally got it, you guys had already gotten one together, and I'm like, ah!
All right.
I will figure it out before I graduate.
So I felt like this chapter made more of the information in my head like oatmeal. I felt like it was statistics overload condensed in one chapter.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it?
I felt like it was our final project in the statistics class, all in one.
Yeah.
I felt like by reading it, I called into question everything that I thought I knew for my proposal. And now I'm like, really quickly after I finished it going, oh my goodness, I'm doing the wrong test. I have the wrong this, that. I feel like I've redesigned everything in the last 2 days and it's got my head spinning.
Oh no.
Well, I noticed you made a comment on one discussion board, and see, I made one on another one, but anyway, that's beside the point. But did you guys have any questions about it? To me, it was just like a run through of statistics, except for instead of the ANOVA, is it the ANCOVA? That's the only one I don't remember learning in statistics.
Yeah, I don't remember that. And COVA.
And we didn't learn it in our SPSS homework that we did either. And I think I've come to the conclusion that that's probably the one that I need for my study. Would figure.
Why do you think you need that one, Maria?
Because the way I have designed the study is I really would like to have a control group that gives me a basis of comparison to the treatment group. Originally, I thought that I could do away with the control group as long as I did that pre-test, post-test for them. But then that puts me in the realm of a weaker experimental design, or more of a quasi design than the strong design. So I think I need to do a mixture of a within participants design and a between participants design that includes the pre-test, post-test. But then I would need to do a mixed model and ANOVA, which I've read several studies that I'm like, yes, that's it. That's what I need to do. But they all did mixed model ANOVAs. I just don't know how to run that test. And so the only other option is to run a one-way ANCOVA, which just brings me back to the same thing. I don't know how to run that test.
Well, you don't have to run it in SPSS. You know that, right?
No, actually, I didn't know that, because there were several people I saw that had said, oh, we have to run it and then attach it as an appendix.
No. He just wants us to summarize what we would do.
Okay.
Right? Tell me if I'm wrong, but he posted an announcement that said you do not need to run any tests in SPSS.
Okay.
He goes, because it's a proposal. He goes, it's not a research study that you...
Yeah, that's what I was kind of like, when I saw there was like a list of like three fellow students that were like, okay, I've run my test. Now, do I put it in the appendix? And then somebody else was commenting on what she should do, and somebody else did. And I went, oh my goodness, I have to actually run this test. And that's when I started looking at it more carefully and realizing that I can't do a one-way ANOVA with a repeated measure. I needed something more.
Okay.
Because we don't have the actual data.
Let me read to you what he wrote.
Okay.
So he says, in contrast to the instructions provided by the course content providers, I am not asking you to produce a sample data set.
Oh, yay.
There is an art to making up data, which is one we've chosen not to teach you. As such, I don't think...
Uh-oh.
Shoot. Am
Am
I back?
There you go. You're there.
Yeah. My husband was calling in.
Oh, you like disappeared for a sec.
That is like the cliffhanger after you've like watched the show religiously. It's like,
Okay. He says, as such, I don't think you necessarily have the right background to come up with a good dummy data set to run your analysis. What I want instead is for you to tell me exactly what statistical test you would run and what the data might look like that confirmed your hypothesis. Again, you do not need to run actual data. I'll not penalize you if you do, but it's not a requirement for your final paper.
oh gosh.
Ta-da!
Yay.
Awesome.
What a Christmas present.
Some people did put graphs on their poster, like Wanda. She she just made up some data and put it on her poster, but we don't have it.
Yeah.
Wanda's pretty sharp. Like she's the one that I see her answering everybody's questions, and she's very intelligent about what she posts. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I've had her in other classes, and she's really bright.
Awesome. Okay, well, that answers my question.
I was going to say, now that we're talking about proposals, did you have other questions that you had about yours, Ruth?
I think that was my main question. I went back and redid some things because originally I wanted to use a 5-point Likert scale that measured the different strengths, like the altruistic strengths that someone can develop while volunteering. But there's 24 strengths, and so to try and test for those all, it got a little crazy wrapping my mind around that, especially in light of trying to reorganize the test that I would use. So I ended up switching that out for a simpler Likert scale that combined the answers for one single score. And kind of hope that doesn't distract or take away from the strength of the study, but I think that's probably the best thing. Other than that, I think it's just I'm trying to figure out more of what I would include on the discussion and the poster.
Well, that PowerPoint helped me a lot with what to write about.
I need to go back through that. I think sometimes I just
It tells you exactly, like, discuss this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome. I'll go back through that.
Who's next? How are you doing, Liza?
Oh, I have my paper minimized on one, well, not minimized, I guess the screen's just small, and then I have the PowerPoint instructions.
Yeah.
Like so I have one on this side of my screen and the other one on this side of my screen, so I can like scroll and make sure I have everything.
That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know
not
what?
that I have
test
everything,
ready?
but no, I'm not ready.
Do you know what test you're doing for your
Oh,
proposal?
I don't remember.
Can I tell
have
you,
it
this
somewhere.
just makes me feel so good about myself all the time. I don't feel like a misfit. I feel like I fit right in. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Me too, because I haven't even thought about what test would work best. Because I don't know about you guys in regards to like the methods, like how we submitted that and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and got feedback on it. When I was doing a review on other people's, I'm like, theirs is so much better.
That's what I felt like
mine
too.
is like kindergarten level or something.
Sure, they're great.
I mean, I still got a good grade on it, on mine, as like the draft, but like, I don't know. I can't help but feel like what I need to do.
It's kind of hard too when you read the examples and you're like, how in the world did they come up with that? Or how did they figure that part out? I mean, are we in the same class? That's kind of the feeling that I've got, but I've really appreciated that Brother Boring. I don't want to say he wants us to take it seriously, but I think he's very realistic at where we are as undergrads.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, I mean, I know I've said it too many times, but comparison with the teacher I had before, I think at this point I probably would have started losing hair and going crazy just because the expectation level was, I don't want to say, I like high expectations, but I like them to be attainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes a lot of the extra stress away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because it's already stressful enough.
I know. But I have to say, by doing that, I feel like I appreciate and understand the material better.
Yes.
Than I did the first time around. I feel like I instead of it just being like, I just want to get through this, I feel like more of the information is sinking in and I want to know more and understand more on my own as opposed to feeling like it's being rammed down my throat.
Well, and you also don't want to feel like you're being set up to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Katie, how's yours going?
I think it's going all right. I was going to ask for your opinion about the test. I'm thinking the one-way Villanova test for mine. So, and I might be wrong on it, but I have an independent and a dependent variable group. And one group, they're the exerciser. They're all depressed and everything, but they're the exercisers. And then the other group is not. And then they're divided like 15 males, 15 females in each of the groups and stuff. So you think that would be the ANOVA test?
I think it's the ANOVA test unless the genders are an important part of your study. If you are trying to divide them up into male and female, you might want to look at the two-way ANOVA.
Are you taking gender into consideration?
No, in my like analysis I wasn't, but I just wanted to have an equal amount of genders so it could be controlled more. That makes sense?
Controlled, but not necessarily paired, right?
Yeah, just because I didn't want to have like a total of 30 participants in each variable group, and only have like 5 males, and then the other one. Like I wanted it to be equal more.
Okay,
so then that's
my question.
Then one way would probably be fine then, if gender is not an issue.
So I had a question. So on page 456, you know how it summarizes the different statistical tests and which one to use depending on your dependent and independent variables. So the ANOVA is exactly the same as the t-test for independent samples. You see that? They both they use with one.
I think my tables are on different.
Oh yeah. So it's just at the end of the chapter. So at the end of the chapter, right before the summary.
Oh, okay.
And there's the bullet points right before the summary.
Okay, yeah.
So then it talks about a t-test for independent samples and then the ANOVA, and they're both exactly the same. So how do you know which one to use? Do you know what I mean?
You know, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because I would be doing a pre-test, post-test control group with 2 groups, and it says on mine the one-way ANCOVA or the mixed model ANOVA, but it's the same thing. Can you use either or is it just saying, you know, you need to use one of these, but you have to choose which one?
Yeah, I don't know. Because see, I always planned all along to use the ANOVA, the one-way, well, no, I was going to do a 2-way ANOVA, I think. Anyway, one of the ANOVAs I was going to do. But my problem was then after I remembered about the chi-square test, then I was like, well, maybe it's that one that I need. And so I've been going back and forth over which one to use myself. But I don't know what to tell you, Katie. Like,
I say post it on the discussion board and see if Wanda hits on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got some golden answers there.
Yeah. She had a few answers for me, but I don't know which way to go. Still.
Tammy, remind me what your variables look like.
So,
like, why would you choose the chi-square?
Okay, so I'm wondering if there's a difference between personalities, the type of personality you have, and overeating when you're stressed. So I'm looking at the difference between the personalities. And so when you're comparing differences of something, then you use the chi-square test because they're both qualitative studies. So,
yeah.
But, you know, that's the one question she had. So then I got to thinking, I was looking at, like, I've been working on this most of the day. And I was sitting there thinking, so I have 3 worksheets, and I'm just mailing them out to participants or people who will fill them out. And one's a worksheet on stress, and 2 of the 3 worksheets are validated. So like scholarly validated. So one's on your stress levels, and then one is on how you eat. It's called control eating something. Anyway, like it looks at the way that you eat during different situations in your life. And then the third one is the personality color code test. Now, Brother Boring, okay, so the other day I sent probably 5 emails to Brother Boring back and forth, like we were going back and forth for a while. And then I sent him a couple with a couple other questions, and I have not heard back from him. And then on my post online, Wanda answered it, but I even told him in the email, I'm like, I'm going to post this in case other people have the same question, but could you please answer it? And he answered. I noticed this morning he answered 2 other people's posts, but didn't even answer mine. And so he hasn't replied to my last couple emails or the post that I posted online. And so I don't know what to do, because one of the comments he made on my draft was on the color code worksheet. He's like, is this a scholarly, like, is it validated? And I don't think it is. And I did a bunch of research, and I looked it up, and I looked for other personality tests that were validated. And I can't find one that would even be better than that one. So I don't know what to do. And so he didn't answer me on that, so I still don't know what to do. So I just figured I'm going to use it. And then in my discussion, I'm putting in there that that test was not validated, or it's not a validated test. And so maybe the next person who wants to do a similar research could find one that is, you know, as far as limitations on the study. But as far as like what kind of test I'm going to run, I don't know what to do, because then I just figured, well, maybe I should eliminate the stress test and just have the 2 tests, one on the eating and then one on, because it has questions in it that pertain to stressful times. And
What test did you put on your proposal that you would run?
I put all 3, but I could drop the stress test, because I think.
I mean, what analysis did you say you were going to run?
I haven't yet.
So in your proposal draft, you didn't indicate a test that you were going to do?
Oh no, well, that's what we're working on now, right?
Yeah, I was just wondering if he responded to you about. Oh, he didn't. I mean, in your question, or not in your question, but on your paper, if he had said something about the test there, if you had, okay. Is there another test that you can find that
well, and see,
is validated?
I've been searching online for other similar tests, and there's a test online that they studied students, and they just studied the stress versus eating. Like, they didn't bring in a third. See, my whole test is I want to focus on the personality types. Like, is there a difference between people with different personalities on if they overeat during stressful times or not? So I'm bringing it. That's what I want my study to be, is focused on that personality.
Mm-hmm.
But this other test I found online, they just studied, you know, whether someone overeats or not during stressful times. And they ran it as an ANOVA. And most everything I'm seeing, it's ran as an ANOVA. And so I'm wondering if I'll just do that. Any ideas?
No, it sounds like a really interesting study. I'd love to. I would love to see someone take off with it and like follow through with it, so we could figure out. I could look and see what my personality type is and say, that's why I have to have my strawberry shortcake every night.
Yeah. Well, there were studies that were done that had to do with biology, like if they had a certain gene or this certain thing in their brain, whether if they overate during stressful times.
Do those correlate with the personalities?
No.
Or is that more of what your study would be looking at?
Yeah, my study is looking more at the personality. Like, is there a different, because you know on the color code, they have the different colored personalities, the white and the red, yellow and blue. and each color is a different type of a personality. So red is like, they're very uptight. Things have to be in order. You know, a lot of them are OCD. Blues are more emotional. Everything has to be fair. Whites are really laid back people, and yellows are, they want everything to be fun, and they want to be the center of attention. And so, anyway, so I'm wondering, do I just eliminate the stress worksheet and just compare the overeating worksheet to the, I don't know. The thing that's throwing me off is the 3 worksheets. Like there's 3 things. What do you guys think? Because Wanda got on there and she was like saying, so obviously your independent variable is your personality. She goes, well, where's the stress one come in? And how is that? How are you looking at that? And
I think that if you add stress, does it become another independent variable that you test for?
yeah, and that's what she was thinking too, and that's what she mentioned.
Because then yours kind of fits that two-way ANOVA,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'll probably just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is between participants of factual design with 2 independent variables. Oh wait, that's the 2A ANOVA. So it's the same thing if you don't do a pre-test is the 2A ANOVA, but you may need a post hoc test.
And that's what I'm thinking that I'll end up doing. Because I did mention, as I was reading about the post hoc test, I mean, that sounded like something I need.
Well, that's my uneducated opinion. What about yours, Emily? Where are you at?
I have all the stuff that we've done up to this point. I haven't touched the poster yet, and I need to revise the last 2 things that we've turned in with like the advice that was given. I've just been like, it feels like as the semester draws to an end, it feels like more work has taken more time than usual, especially like end of the semester assignments, because I have a project due in another class. And so it just kind of feels like I'm going to get to it Friday after my exams. So we'll see how it goes. But like listening to you guys has been helpful to kind of get an idea of what you guys are doing, and also take the idea about looking at the PowerPoint, because I also think I was putting it off too because I feel overwhelmed. Yeah. So that's the truth of the matter.
The other thing too that helped me was looking at other people's posters.
Yeah.
What they were saying as far as their discussion and results as well.
You know, somebody was asking about like their studies and stuff like that, and how to write this. Go back into your resources, your citations. Go back in and look at the study that you most want to resemble, and look at the tests that they used. Because
that's a good idea.
Usually, I mean, that's when I started looking at mine, I kept coming across this, mixed model ANOVA, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I kept tossing it out. And I've spent 2 days running around in circles realizing that's probably what I needed to do this whole time. And it makes sense as I read through the results of their study. It makes sense. How they got that information, I'm not quite sure of. So that's just the bridge of not knowing what a mixed method ANOVA and how to run that properly. But you probably already have the answer in your research literature.
That's a good idea. Look at you.
Let's not reinvent the wheel.
Internal stress going on.
And you know what? Take advantage of the extra credit stuff. I mean, if you feel like you're in doubt, I mean, I started on the articles extra credit stuff this week, and it's really not that hard. You read through. It's got 7 points that you have to comment on, and each comment that you give that's between, I think he said 250 to 300, or maybe it's 200 to 350, I can't remember. Each comment that you give gives you up to 5 extra credit points. So if you were to go through all 7 of those and comment on them, you would get 35 extra credit points that would then balance out either your test or this proposal.
That's an excellent idea. Thank you.
This is my daughter.
Hey.
Hi.
Back from school.
So does anybody else need help with anything else?
Now, Catherine, were you done talking about yours? I wasn't sure if you and Liza were done talking about yours when.
I just wanted your opinion on the test. Yeah, I think I'll go with the one way or another.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Awesome.
I've been taking down the summary. So if Liza, if you can finish any comments that you might have on yours too, I can add it.
Oh, I'm kind of in the same boat you are, Emily. Just, I pushed everything aside to focus on other assignments. And then that's why I don't, like, they asked me what my test was and stuff. I don't remember because I finished my assignment last week and I put that aside, and I've been doing like my practicum stuff. And then my other class, I had a meeting this morning, so it was like quickly get ready for that. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Just a little plug in for those listening. That really nice week we had last week would be really great this week. So if we could just rearrange that, take everything for chapter 15 last week and then have a little breather this week, that would be awesome.
Or just put some of the stuff for this week on last week.
Yeah,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, right. Have the poster due last week or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I think the poster needs to be due after the proposal paper, because don't you use some of the stuff for the new stuff that you add into the paper?
That's true. We
put it
don't
onto your
suggest
poster?
moving the proposal up. Keep it where it is.
No, we don't.
Just change chapter 15. That's all you need to do. Change chapter 15. Make it last week and give us the nice phenomenology this week.
Yeah, that would be good. Maybe we should have done that. Maybe we should have done chapter 15 last week instead.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, did we need to discuss about the gospel thing?
Yeah.
Ties into it.
That's the last thing.
All I can think of is there's power in prayer. It's the end of semester. That's all I can think of.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because my practicum teacher this morning, she did put a little spiritual thought on her announcement board. And it had to do with just that if you need help, just pray for it. Because she shared an experience of a couple students last semester that couldn't figure out how to do their literature review, and they sat there for 10 minutes not knowing how to even start, and they said a prayer together, and then things just started to flow.
Oh, awesome. Okay, when we're done here, I'm going to say a prayer for all of you.
Oh, thank you. Don't forget to do priesthood blessings if you need it.
Oh, that's right.